actually have sciatica.
You could point the camera so we can start. Just
I think you're like on your way.
just wait on her.
No, don't worry.
Yeah.
Want me to? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just join in. Join in.
Let me do all the things.
Just wait on one person.
You're fine. They're waiting for me. Sorry, I didn't know you were waiting for me.
It's all right. I'll stand over here so you guys get the soft spot. All right.
Mom, come over here.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate that. I want to start. My name is Dr. G. Most of you already know me. But I want to start by saying thank you to you guys all for showing up, to the vendors as well as the regular folks for showing up and supporting. And a shout out to the team, the Connect team, for making this happen, and Angelica for everybody. So thanks for showing up, guys. Today we're going to talk about sciatica, and we all know, right? Like, you've all heard the term, right? And I think a lot of times people will talk about it in different ways. In general, it's pain that we have from either our back or our glutes that goes down the back of our leg. Sometimes it can feel like tension, like we just can't straighten our leg. Sometimes it can be achy and deep in there and like jump around in the back of our calf or our hamstring, maybe our ankles, things like that. Or sometimes it can feel like a hot wire running down the back of your leg. And the reason for that is that there's different reasons for sciatica. So let me ask you this. Have any of you had a bent forward to pick something up and feel something burn down the back of your leg, or like pain down the back of your leg?
Yeah.
Yep. How many people will, if you are sitting for too long, you start to get pain in like one side of your butt or the other, and then that causes tension or compression or like an achy down the back of your leg? Maybe some tingling. Yes. Maybe some tingling in the foot, anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's all different reasons that we might have sciatica. Maybe sometimes laying on your stomach makes it feel better. Maybe sometimes laying on your back makes it feel worse, right? Or maybe that makes it feel better. Have we all experienced, any of you have any of those experiences? Yeah? Yeah. And so what we know is that although we all have different experiences, that we all have similar symptoms. Can we agree to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and so what today is it's pretty simple. The goal is we're going to help you understand why your sciatica happens or why it happens in the first place, figure out what is the root cause of your sciatica or the type of sciatica that you have, and then show you the first steps towards fixing it for good, because we can't get there unless we know what's causing it. Can we agree to that, guys? Mm-hmm. All right, so can we agree to that, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have some folks, let's have some enthusiasm for the folks. All right.
Okay, I'll turn it on.
All right, and we know that this can like frustrate you, sleep, work, travel, all that stuff, and kind of hold you back from things you really want to do in life, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So, are you guys open to get involved and kind of moving around and doing some stuff? All right, awesome. So, I'm actually going to steal one of these mats, so I'm not rolling around on cement. One of you guys can grab one if you want, or take your space on the floor, and we'll get started. So, the first thing we want to do is decode, right? And at Connect, we have a 3-phase process where we decode. So we identify the issue, the root cause. Then, I don't know, this changed my verbiage. Bam. We decode, then we rebuild, and then we optimize. And essentially, it's a 3-step process where we understand what's going on. We then rebuild the parts that we figure out that are the cause, and then we optimize by getting you to that next step. Sound good? Yeah. So the first thing we want to do, I'm going to fix this. I don't know, whatever. First thing we're going to do is figure out if we have any imbalances in our bodies, okay? It's particularly in our hips. So step 1, let's have you get your feet up just like this. Now, to the best of your ability, hey, does anybody have pain or tension while we're here? little bit. Where?
Like right here on the right side.
On the outside, kind of? All right. Dude, so when we talk about tingling and pain and tension, does anybody get the tension or pain or tingling down the outside of your legs? No?
Not the legs.
No? Okay. Tension.
Tension.
Okay. Yep. And that so goes into like the different forms, right? So next thing we're gonna do, let's have you drop your legs out to one side or the other, whichever suits you. Now, how does that feel? Do we have tightness or what are you guys noticing? Tight in the front? Okay. In the back? In both sides?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have stretching in the back, tightness there? In the back? Yeah, okay. Now, let's switch sides. And it's interesting, everybody had something slightly different. Okay. What do you guys see and feel on this side? More tight?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yep.
All in your
A
back,
little bit of
is it?
tension.
Here, I'll show you how to do
So
it.
does
Like this.
anybody have one side that feels different than the other?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it works.
Is that side the same or opposite of the issues that you usually have pain on? Or the area that you usually have pain in? Same side. So when we get into that first step of decode, one of the things we want to know is what are our asymmetries? That was a lot of alliteration. And we want to be able to identify that so we can start to work backwards, okay? So we notice that if our pain is on the same side as that asymmetry, it might mean that we need to address that asymmetry. Or we have that asymmetry because there's a weakness somewhere. Does that make sense? That we're compensating. So let's go back to a 90-90 position just like this. Something that feels okay. Now, I'm going to have you lean forward. And I just want you to experience what you feel. Do you feel a stretch? Do you feel tension go down the leg? Does it irritate any of your problems? Yeah? Tightness on the inside? Like your groin area?
Yeah,
Oh, like the outside? Okay. What are other people? Huh? Yeah, it's like kind of like here. Yeah. It's like IT band maybe. Yeah.
Where's it hurt for you?
Yep.
Right
Yep.
there?
What about, what is it? What do you guys feel?
Right there? Like the lower I go, I can feel it more, like it feels more tight.
Uh-huh.
Just in like the back.
Just in the back?
Yeah. Like
Okay. Okay. And but no, like none of the no recreation of those symptoms, right? Or yes, no, maybe so. Just tight tension. Okay.
Stop now.
Good. Let's switch feet. And then we want to see how that feels on the other side. Like for me, my left side was a little tighter than my right.
Yeah, that's it. Does it hurt?
How does that relate to the leg that moved better? Which one is easier to stretch? Is that the same one that moved better when we did the back and forth?
I just jumped in right
Oh. Do you have tension or?
Yeah, my right side's worse.
It's worse and that one's easier?
Yeah.
Exactly. So again, we're going back.
That's how I do my right
Then,
side.
if we see that one side is tighter than the other and we have an issue on one side, it could be that we're having a tension issue. And it's leading us down this road of understanding what patterns are off. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so now we know.
Sorry.
All right, so, and what this is going to tell us is that sciatica, although it can be about a slip disc or a disc going out, it doesn't necessarily always have to be, right? And with that, I want to kind of explain the three parts, which I touched on briefly. You have a disc-related sciatica or a instability sciatica where your spine has shifts when you move, and that's going to feel like a hot wire, electric sort of tingling, and it's going to be super traceable, really easy to find. And we're going to sort out how we can figure out if we have one or someone else does. Then you're going to have what's called a peripheral entrapment, and essentially that's a fancy word for saying you got a tight muscle squeezing your nerve, right? That's not related to any disc issue, okay? And then finally, you have a tension-based sciatica, which is caused by overuse of something that is pulling and causing tension in that area, particularly either on the side or the back of your leg. And that is where we get the sciatic feeling that might not actually even have anything to do with the nerve. And we're gonna figure out how to do that one as well. Sound good?
Yes.
Alrighty. So, as we move on, our next step is we're gonna check the glute bridge. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna see if there's any type of imbalances that are happening within one of the most powerful and important muscles of our lower body, is our glutes. There's 3 of them. They do a lot of work for stability, and they do a lot of work in pushing, pulling, and driving. And if those guys go out, they will cause a plethora of from knee pain to shoulder pain to ankle pain, right? And so we want to figure out what's going on there. And there's other small muscles under there like the piriformis, which is, if you've ever heard of piriformis syndrome, generally when we have that is because the glutes are not doing their job. So, does anybody want to volunteer to demo?
You? Yeah, I will.
Sure. All right, so let's have you come up here. I'll give you this back. What I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you lay on your back. And bring your feet as closest to your body as you can. Good. Oh, that was good. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift your toes up towards the ceiling, and you're gonna push the ground away with your heels. And you're gonna do a bridge. Yep, so you're gonna bridge up. Can you point those toes a little bit more? Good. Do you have any pain or tension anywhere in your lower body or your back?
No, I'm a little tighter in my hip.
You're tight in your hip?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do, she has tightness in her right hip. You can rest for a second. What we wanna do is test that, right? So in order to do that, we have to isolate the right hip. We're gonna lift this left leg, okay? So let's have you go up again, lift the toes up, and then when you're ready, lift your left leg off the floor. Good, and keep pointing that toe up. What do you feel there?
Just tightness, but not anything major.
Tightness where?
A little bit here, but actually not as much now.
Okay, good. And put that leg down. And actually bring this foot forward a little bit.
This way?
Right there. Good. Okay, so that's fairly good. Now, and you had tightness in the front side, right?
Yes.
So that was the TFL. What we're seeing is that likely she's using the TFL to help laterally stabilize. And what that means is if you're standing and you're dropping here, it's because your glutes aren't able to do their job. This muscle here, which goes to your IT band, does this motion, and if you fall in, its job does this motion, and so if you fall in, its job is going to be to keep you upright so that you don't fall over because this glute isn't able to do that. Is that track?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so now we're going to try the other side. So let's have you bridge up again. Point your toes at the ceiling. Good. Now, lift your right leg. Good. What do you feel there?
Nothing really.
Nothing. So, come back down, and then lift. Do it again. Push up. No. Both legs. And then lift your left leg again. Okay, did anybody see that? Go down. The bounce? Do it one more time. So lift up and lift your left leg. That.
Yeah.
Did you guys all see her hips dip? What that shows us is that she's having issues in glute stability, right? Because, and you caught yourself, but then you felt the tension in the TFL. So what that shows us is her TFL on the right side is contributing to some of her stability, which will then cause tension down here and also cause her leg to go in. That in turn could put pressure by the piriformis being overstretched and needing to contract, right? So, enough of me yapping. Let's all have you guys try that. Start with both legs and then switch. Then do one leg at a time. What's important is keeping your feet close to you, getting your heels in the ground, and lifting your toes up. You don't want to be so close that you can't lift your toes up. Try to keep your heels in the ground.
Go back. Yeah. Now lift your toes.
What are you guys noticing? Good tension. Did anybody have back pain? A lot of tension. Where? Middle back. What about hip pain or tightness?
Just tightness.
Tightness where? Back
Didn't
there.
think they were teenagers.
Yeah. Fair enough. Who noticed that one leg, it was harder to stay level with one foot up on one side over the other? You? Who noticed if it was harder? So, I'm sorry. Adam. Sorry, man. I was getting. So Adam, when we did it, he went up, lifted the right leg, or lifted the right leg, and that's when he wobbled. Yeah. He was fine when he lifted his left leg, nothing. Lifted his right leg and did one of those, and had it was back pain, right? Or hip. Yep, and had hip tension, just like when Stephanie did it, right? So did anybody notice that maybe they had glute pain, hamstring cramped?
Well, no, I didn't have pain when I was doing it, but I had pain when I settled back down.
When you settled back down?
Yeah.
Where was it?
Just still upper, lower back closer to my glutes.
Okay.
Feel where I was.
On both sides?
More on my right side.
More on the right side? Did it travel anywhere?
No, still the same area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep traveling down. Everybody has a different root cause, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this, because for some people it could have been that they have an issue with that side of the glute. Some people have an issue with mobility and rotation that can cause it. And some people have other things happening. So we're gonna figure it out and keep chipping away. Do we have any more questions with that one? No? Okay, so when we talk about rebuild, knowing what muscles are weak is gonna be the number one thing that we can do to help rebuild ourselves. Knowing what's weak gives us the answer on how to fix it. Does that make sense? Yep. All right. Oh, and nobody felt it in their hamstring, right?
No, but usually I do.
You did? Where?
When I lifted this leg up, I could feel it more.
Did it travel down?
I wouldn't travel, it just felt very, tension.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boom, tension. You usually do?
Usually, yeah.
What does it feel like?
Sometimes even if I'm just bending over, my hamstrings are just really, really tight.
Really, really tight?
Super tight. Yeah. And I'll kind of have to
Yep, kind of
move
wiggle
around to get out. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And so, interestingly enough, one of the things that happens is when we're underusing certain muscles, other ones will work to take over, right? Kind of we were talking about the TFL. And one of the common things that happens with that masks as sciatica is hamstring tendonitis, right? Because the hamstring inserts right here and runs straight down. And so if we're not able to engage our glute to do that, we're gonna constantly use our hamstrings. So if we're walking and we get hamstring pain, or we go to do what we would call a glute bridge, where we're focusing on the isolation of the glutes by using our heels into the ground, it could still, we would be using our hamstrings instead of the actual muscles. And if we're using them for everything, including what we should be using them for, they're gonna take on extra loads, and that's gonna really bring that inflammation, okay? And mask as true sciatica. So that's good information, and we're sifting away, so cool. And knowing what to strengthen will give us that key. Can I tell you guys a quick story? Okay, hope she. So I've been working with the patient, and when she first came in, she was pretty frustrated, right? She's been a million places, and she got 3 different stories from 6 different people. Some people said it was a disc, some people said it was a hamstring, some people said it was piriformis, right? And she tried a bunch of different stuff, and some stuff helped, some stuff didn't, and it was a little better, plateaued, and just kind of got dormant, right? And what happened was, these providers spent a lot of time looking at, and don't get me wrong, looking at the imaging is important because it gives you a clue into what is going on, but the imaging gives you an end result and a byproduct, not the actual symptom, the causes, right? And so we had the end result, we had the byproduct, but for some reason that's what people looked at. So what we did was we took all the information we had and we worked backwards. We watched her move. We watched her breathe. We watched her do all of these things, and what we figured out was the number one issue we were having trouble with was the glute on the left leg. That was the same side that she had a hamstring tendinopathy, tendinitis. So the glute, the disc, and the hamstring were all on the same side. When she went to the other provider, she got some relief when they worked on the disc. She got some relief when they worked on the hamstring. But guess what nobody worked on? The glute, right? And I know it sounds like that's the focus of this stuff, but like it's just so happens that's what works, that's what occurs. But in this case, they didn't focus on that, and that was the root cause, right? And so what are we doing? We're teaching how to brace, engage the core, so we're not using the lower back muscles to lift the leg, and we're not using the hamstrings to lift the legs. It's a hard process and it's a challenge, but she's able to get back to work now. She's able to walk, and we're on the mend. The flare, it's not constant. Every step doesn't hurt, and she's not hobbling, right? And that came from communication, by understanding where she's been, what they've done, and what hasn't been done, and looking at her body as a whole, not just a symptom and a diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
Sound good to you guys? Or do you guys have any questions about that? No? All right, cool. So, moving on, the next step is we want to figure out... Oh, yeah, so now that we figured out tension, compensation, and weak glutes, we want to now look at to see, is this a disc issue or a nerve or an entrapment lower down the chain, okay? So the first thing I want us to do is I want us to stick our feet straight out like this.
You gonna do it with us right here?
Is everybody doing okay?
Yeah.
No issues just yet, right? A little
I mean, I
bit.
can
What-
feel it in my look, sorry.
No.
Yeah, I can feel it. Like I feel more tight, I guess. Like I can feel the tension a little bit. Like
Where?
just like my lower back and then like a little bit on the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's pretty much the
same spot? All right, so first thing we're gonna do is take your toes and I want you to point them at you. Does that change anything for anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's
What?
way harder.
And what?
It's way harder and I can feel it more.
You can feel it in your
And,
lower back?
like,
In the calves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can feel it more. I can feel it in my calves, but it just feels like it's a stretch, not really.
Just feels like a stretch? That's good. That's all good. What about you? Is it more of a stretch
It's
or?
more of a stretch in my calves, but my back.
It's feel it in
I
the
can
back?
feel- yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Everybody else good?
Turned on my quads.
It turned on your quads? Yeah. Yeah, but nothing in the back of the legs or the lower back? Okay, good. Now, as your toes are pointing, you can relax your toes, sorry. Now, tuck your chin and kind of curl forward just a little bit. We don't want to go all the way down, just more of our neck and our upper back.
Just neck and upper back, like this.
Yep. What does that do for you guys?
It feels a little like tight, like when it goes to like closer to my upper back and my spine.
Uh-huh.
When I do this.
Yep.
And like I can feel it more on my right side. It feels like, but like my hip,
Uh-huh.
my lower back.
Yep. Does it feel like, but more tensiony, kind of broad?
Yeah, more tension and like I just feel the pain more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? No? Okay. Cool. And so what we're doing is we're figuring out, are we tension or are we a disc, right? And we want to always gradually build into it because we don't want to dive in, all right? So we got some tension build up and everybody else was pretty like the same, right? Great. So now, ready for the next step?
Yeah.
All right, what we're gonna do is we are gonna then fold forward, curling our low back forward. And we're gonna hold this for a little bit. And we're gonna sit here for about 30 seconds. It's okay if we can't. Give it about another 10 to 15 seconds. If it's causing a lot of pain, it's okay to sit up. You don't have to hurt yourself. I want you to think about what you're feeling. I'm going to ask you a question. No. All right.
Yeah, I can feel it like right here on the right side.
In your
my
glute?
glutes. Yeah, kind of glutes, like upper hamstring.
Okay. Did you feel anything in the back?
A little bit, but that was more the hot spot. Like
Okay.
my back's been tight this whole time, so it didn't get worse.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah.
So did this kind of make the back stretch?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
what I mean. It was
Okay. So,
but I felt tension a lot right in there.
okay.
I just felt very tight, and then once I like rested back up, I could just feel it all like on my right side, and then it kind of like moved to like my left side, like it's like pulling it.
Okay. So it didn't feel like a stretch in your back?
No, I felt more like I was
Not
just very tight.
like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did anybody feel anything run down their legs, the back of your legs? Both legs or one?
Just the left.
Oh, okay. Was it wiry or like more of like a ache or more of like a broad space?
But yeah, for some reason, just like calf and hamstrings on the left side.
Where did it start?
I felt the calf first, and then the hamstring,
Okay.
and then towards the end of the time, a little bit in the low back.
In the low back? Okay. And so we had multiple people with different causes, same thing, but we had different feelings, right? And so we're gonna keep on chipping away, figure out what it is. So the things that it could be. For you, when we lean forward, what happens is that will compress the disc and cause it to press. So if we have a tension that comes from our low back, runs down and kind of creates a line on one side or the other, it could be the disc problem that compresses the nerve. If we feel it more in our glutes and running down, it could be a piriformis syndrome or a muscle compressing the nerve. Okay? And so we want to do that to figure out which one it is. All right, does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, so now what we're gonna do, let's bend our knees just enough so we can take the tension out of our hamstrings and calves. And then I want you to be gentle to yourself. Then I want you to bend forward. I want you to feel do you feel a stretch in your low back, or does this feel worse? Does this still create the tension going forward into the hamstrings?
No, it's just a stretch.
Just a stretch? Just a stretch?
I mean, it's a hard stretch.
Nothing went down?
Just a hard stretch.
Okay, good news. Anybody feel more than a stretch? Great. Great. All right, cool. So, that's good news. Now, what we're gonna do is, I think this might be our last one. We're gonna go face down.
You're gonna face down.
And you're gonna feel two different, there's gonna be two things you can feel here. You can either feel like your bones are getting squished together. Well, I guess three things. You can feel nothing and feel fine, like a stretch of your abs. You can feel like your bones are being squished together and like it's not what you want to do and it's more of the bad position you've been in. Or you can feel relief, all right? And depending on what you feel, will give us input, will give us insight onto what's going on, all right? So you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna push up and we're gonna leave our pelvis on the floor and we're gonna hang out here. If it feels like that's not good, likely we got some tension stuff happening. If you feel it pinching or pain in the low back or the hips, if you're feeling like your sciatica stuff or the tension down the back is going away, that's another indicator. Yeah, what are you guys experiencing while we're here?
I feel like I need to activate my glutes to be like fully comfortable.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, I do feel a little bit of that stack sensation, but I also don't have the sciatica that I have.
And if you feel the stack, it's alright. As long as it's not painful. Because if the stack feels painful, then that teaches us something. That's like more of like a low back compensation for moving activity.
It definitely felt a little painful, like, but more like pinching on my hips
Okay.
than it did on my like lower back.
Okay,
Like,
that's good
I
news.
couldn't do it for long.
Yeah,
Feels like.
but pinching
Yeah.
in both sides. I got good news for you, man. All right, so feel free to go ahead and sit up.
trying to figure out.
All right. So, when we think about, we got one more exercise after this, but I want to kind of explain what's happening. So, when we think about what goes on with sciatica and why we have these issues, right? Our sciatic nerve comes from about here to here, runs down through our glute, past our piriformis, down through our legs, has a bunch of branches that come off, down and then around our foot, okay? When it does that, it passes through your piriformis here, which is a big, like crisscross applesauce of muscles that can get tight. And then behind your knee is a big crisscross applesauce of muscles that can get tight and put compression. If when we did stuff, you felt a lot of tension in the calves and the back of the knees, it could mean that the tight muscles you had are down here, right? If you felt it in the hamstrings and the glutes, likely your piriformis is the culprit of the issue, right? And you're having weak glutes. Lower is probably hamstrings aren't working as well as they should, so the calves are overworking, right? If when we went forward and with our knees bent and it didn't feel like a stretch, it could be that you do have a true disc issue. If you went forward and it felt like a stretch, or when we did the other things and it felt like tension in general, it could be that we have a tension-based thing due to imbalances, right? Like when we shifted our hips side to side. Are we kind of all together on the same page? Right? And so, again, in order to figure out how to fix you, is to understand which part of that we're addressing, right? When we were doing the glute bridge, if your hamstring was hurting, that could mean that we're overusing our hamstrings, all right? So, the last thing, because now I know it's safe, the last thing I want to work on is called a nerve block, all right? So what happens when the nerves get entrapped or squeezed is they don't slide and glide, and they're kind of like, if this is a muscle, my hand, and this is a nerve, it shouldn't be able to go back and forth like that, right? However, if this muscle's all angry and cranky because it's doing everybody's homework, right? And I can't do that, that's gonna cause the tension and the pressure, right? And so what we wanna do is exercises to help us with that. So do you guys does somebody wanna volunteer and I walk them through it, or do you want me to do it and then we all do it as a group? It's your choice.
We'll try.
All right, come on up. So, this is called nerve flossing. We are gonna start by laying on our back. And we have two different types. So, we have three different kinds. The first thing I want you to do, thank you, is we're gonna bend your knee, and you're gonna bring your knee towards you. You are gonna point your toe away, and you're gonna extend your leg. Okay, just till you can. All right, once you're here, do you feel the tension? Yeah. Okay, then you're going to flex your toe towards you. As that happens, you're gonna lower your leg back down.
Okay.
So the idea is that you shorten, so bend, so that will shorten the nerve. Bend your knee.
Okay.
Bring it in so nerve is short. Then we and start to bend it. As we extend, as we go up, we bring the nerve that way. And point your toe. And so it's a cycle. Bend the knee as you straighten and point and flex. There. Just like that. All right? So let's all give that a try. Pay attention to where you feel it. Do you feel it in your calf, in the back of your leg? So as you extend, you dorsiflex, Yep. Yep. And then as you go down, yep. Yep, through there, and then point. Yep. And then bend your knee with the point. And then as you straighten it, you start to flex. Yep, and then go down. And then you can also do this in reverse if you want it. Point your foot out as you come in. Yeah, but I'm not. And do it on both legs. Good. How's that feeling for everybody? Yeah. Are you guys feeling kind of some fluid, some motion through there? Good.
Are you supposed to hold it at the top?
Not super long. Just enough that you feel it and then you want to let it go. Because we don't want to put too much tension on the nerve. We want it to just like slide back and forth. All right. Does everybody get both sides? All right. Anybody else want to volunteer? You want to?
Go ahead. You want to?
No? Okay.
Not volunteer.
All right, come on.
Okay.
So, let's have you lay back.
Put it down.
And because the nerve has branches, we want to hit it from different angles, right? So what we're going to do, hold on, now I got to think about this. Okay, so we're going to bring this knee, bend your knee, or bend your hip, up to you. Right, yeah, like that. Then we're going to bring it over, straighten it. Do you feel it on the outside? Point your toe down. Yep. Hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, we're gonna do it this way. So, bend this knee. You're gonna bring it across your body. Try to keep your back as flat as possible. Now, dorsiflex, so point your toe at you and straighten out this way. And then back. Did you feel the stretch there?
I would say it felt more tension than a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, point your toe. We're gonna come here. Because we are creating, right? Here. And point your toe that way, towards you. Feel it?
That's a little better. Yeah.
Do you feel it like?
I don't feel it here. I feel it more in my head.
Okay. I'm gonna switch with you, just because I'm actually kind of a little concerned. So I'm gonna switch with you. All right, sorry about that.
Good thing you did the demo. Yeah.
So similar. We're gonna go up. We want to go over. Point our toe down. We should feel a little bit of stretch through here, through the outside of the ankle. If you're feeling it, we're. I feel like this one's not going over well. Yep. So up.
I feel it on the outside.
Yeah. Up. Over.
Yeah. All right, let's.
Yeah. Let's do that. We'll do it together. We're gonna go up, over, straight across. Point your toe. Point your toe. Then you're gonna bring your toe up towards you. Feel it. You should feel it back of your calf, down the leg. Bend your knee. There we are. We're good. I should have just done it this way in the first place. Back up again. Point your toe. Over. Flex your foot. Feel it. Bend the knee. That's the one. Sorry, guys. That was a lot of thought. Straight up. Flex. Yep. And back. And try both sides. And I'll do it. So it's going to be straight up. Straight up with the toe pointed. Across. Flex. And back. Point the toe straight up. Across. Flex. And back. One more. Point it up.
Okay.
Across. Flex. And back. All right. There we go.
So,
Sorry,
what does
guys.
it mean if you don't? I mean, I feel it on the outsides of my leg. What
Yeah.
does it mean if you don't?
And so if you don't feel it, it could mean that you don't have tension laterally, right? For me, that could just be what it is, that you're not laterally tense. I was only concerned just because you were saying you had pain kind of in the
Yeah,
neck.
it's always my hips
and I just didn't want you to rotate because I do know that there is something happening, so I didn't want you to rotate too much. That was part of it. And I think it was a lot harder for me to explain it than to do it. I don't know how. Sorry, guys. All right, are you down for one more nerve floss?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's the same thing, just in reverse, and I remember this time. So we're gonna be here, point your toe up, out, pull, and back. So instead of going here, it's the opposite. So up, point your toe, drop out, here, and through. And you might not feel anything, or you might feel a lot. So point up, drop out, point at you, and trying to keep your hips from rolling will also help. So up. And trying to point your toes towards the ground.
Towards the ground.
Yeah. Yep.
Put your toe towards you. Yeah, but you're not actually like pressing.
And so that is more going to be on the inside of the hamstring, adductor area.
Feeling like a lot of crunching going on right
In the hip. Yeah. So So that's actually helpful. So that our hip flexors come into this area and they pull right here. And so if we're using the hip flexors in this nerve area, and there's a bunch of branches from the sciatic nerve that run through the hip flexors. So if we're going out and you're feeling that pull and crunch, likely those are being overused, and that would equate to like right on the right side or left side.
Probably both. I just did the right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be that side. Your core is not quite firing the way it should be to protect them, because the hip flexors can compensate for like flexion type of movements. And yeah, and do you still kickbox?
I haven't for a while.
Okay, but if that was, it could be that you're constantly lifting it that way and using it. So yeah, but that just gives us some insight. Yeah. So essentially, what we did today was we looked at a bunch of different stuff, right? We looked at what the potential causes for sciatica would be. So a disc, muscle tension, muscle tension, or compression on the nerves that are peripheral. And we checked to see obviously, because it's a group, we can't look at everybody one-on-one, but we gave a lot of tools to figure out like, oh, I feel it down here. Let me stretch this area. Or my glutes are weak and that kind of produced symptoms. Let me engage those better, right? And so my hope was that for some of you, most of you, this was everything you needed, right? For other people, you might want a one-on-one assessment to dive a little bit deeper and get an actual true meaning of what's going on. If that's you, I'm going to be here. Let's chat after and we'll get started on a phone call. But yeah, the thing is that we got to figure out, the gist of it is figuring out what is the culprit of the symptom, and spending time working backwards from the symptom to the problem. All right? So again, thank you so much guys for being here. I appreciate your time, and thank you. That was awesome. I appreciate your time. Yeah. And does anybody have any questions? I know that there's other people after me, but quickly. And I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere, so we can always ask after if you don't want to ask in the group. You just look like you were going to say something.
Well, I was like thinking of a question, but I don't know. I was like thinking of a question to come up with.
All right. Well, I'll be here. All right. Well, thank you guys. I'm going to get off because it's mind-body connection next. And I think that's actually going to be a pretty good talk. And I'm excited to hear it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. And I'm here for y'all.